Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. And I'm here, Stephen Bonacore from Stronghold Games, with the Wall of Games.
The Wall of
Somewhat
Games.
traditional now for you. Bring up your thing. You're like, look at all the games I'm doing. Look at me.
Look at me. Look how big I've got. Look at
all these
me.
games, yes.
But as we've been growing, and what we've been doing over the past couple of years is to continue to introduce games into every segment of the market, because we want the gamers to be able to buy games for their families, for their big heavy gaming groups, their just friendly everyday kind of gaming groups. So we have the whole range of games, and this is just the stuff that we're doing during the second quarter. This is April, May, June releases. Some of them are going to slip a little later.
That is crazy.
It's crazy.
That is a lot of games.
It's a lot of games. It is, but like I said, something for everybody in the market. So I was going to go like small to big, and we'll just keep pulling. We'll pull down the wall as we go along.
Okay.
The first one, and it's also the first one, it's Get the Cheese. And Get the Cheese, it's a game, as I say on the back, of cat and mouse and dog. You're playing a family of mice, and you're trying to rush up and get the cheese, which is in the center. And I'm going to be playing my mice to try to get them first, and you're going to possibly play your cats to scare away my mice, and I'm going to play dogs to scare away guys. So you one up each other.
Some face up, some face down.
That's right. You know it already because it was Gouda cheese when it was done. Gouda cheese when it was done by Japan brand, and it's
by
a
Okazu brand.
Yes. Okay.
It's not Japan brand.
It's not this same. They're very similar.
No, it's not the same brand at all.
It's Hisashi Hayashi.
Yes.
From the designer of Trains.
Yes. Yes.
Very good. So that's the first one coming in April. The small game.
Okay.
Let's go with Jeff Engelstein.
Okay.
Pit Crew. So this game is a speed game where you are playing the unsung heroes of the race, the guys and gals in the pit crew. You have to, as fast as you can, change the tires, fill the car with gas, change up the engine. And you're doing this in speed play via cards, and then you get to move your custom-made wooden cars around a track if you get it out there faster.
Okay.
This was a challenge that Sue Sheldon put out, and Jeff Engelstein said, I accept this challenge, and he created the game 9 months later when the game's out. So, Pit Crew, a Jeff Engelstein joint.
Where you were trying to get it out faster, apparently.
Faster.
Getting it out in 9 months. That is
Yeah,
what I
that's
am
pretty
talking
amazing.
about. I don't know what you were talking about.
Your wit is too quick for me, man. It is.
Okay. All right, Dungeon Rush?
Dungeon Rush, right?
Next? Not alone?
Why not? Let's do Dungeon Rush.
Okay.
We have a new partnership with Lautapellet.fi, the Finnish company, and we're picking up a couple of their games to start with, and that is Dungeon Rush and Flamme Rouge. Both of these games were introduced at Essen, and since then we've picked them up. Dungeon Rush is another speed game, just like Pit Crew that we just talked about. And in Dungeon Rush, you're playing adventurers rushing into a dungeon to grab the most loot. You get 2 of them. Each player gets 2. You get 1 for your left hand, and 1 for your right hand. And each one has separate powers.
Okay.
So then everyone flips over 2 cards, which will be the monsters, and then you have to basically slap the cards you believe you can defeat. Because each adventurer he's good in swords, she's good in wands and things like that.
Right.
If you capture that monster, you take it and you slip it under your adventurer, and it will now up its ability. So the adventurers will level up on the various levels of the dungeon. You play 3 levels of this dungeon, 4 times into each level of monsters, constantly leveling up. It's a 12-minute game, 1 minute per round.
Okay.
And that is it. And you go for the big final battle in Dungeon Rush. Might as well talk about Flamme Rouge since I just mentioned them. Flamme Rouge. It's a bigger game. It's a racing game. So people have called it Ave Caesar, where you're racing around the track to try to win. But here you have 2 cyclists that you're trying to get one of them across the finish line first.
Okay.
Very thematic bike racing game, a la the Tour de France, obviously the big one that everyone knows about. And you can, I'm sure if you guys can see this way, you set up the track in a modular fashion, and it can be set up differently every game. So you can use the various courses, famous courses, sort of setting those up. There are not obstacles, but there's hills, up hills and down hills that you have to go. Maximum speeds and things like that. So it really ends up to be very thematic to way bicycle racing works, the professional bicycle racing.
Right.
Flamme Rouge, which means, by the way, red flame, which is what the flag is called in racing. Ta-da!
Okay.
No, not
No?
that. That's the last one. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
last one.
All right.
Not Alone. This one, Not Alone. Not Alone, again, out of Essen. We picked this up after Essen. And this is a game that has already gotten so much buzz from the distributors. We've already commissioned a second printing before the game's even in the States already. So
Okay.
when this is gonna be sort of my next real big selling game. This is a 1 versus many game, so you don't have that many out there. 2 to 7 players, nice player count, where 1 player is playing this malevolent entity on this planet, and the ship that the astronauts have come has crash landed, and they're trying to explore, but they realize they are not
right.
alone. Dun, dun, dun. And he's the malevolent entity trying to suck your will away, while you are just trying to wait until the rescue ship shows up.
Okay.
1 versus many game, not alone.
With expansions also in the works.
2 expansions in the work. How do you even know that, man? You're
I
good.
filmed with Keelan.
Because you know
Come on.
these guys.
Yes. So
This guy's really good. He really is. Keep this
I
guy
just-
around. He's mean to me, but he's really good. Oh no,
I'm
Eric Lyne's
delightful.
here? Oh,
What's his name?
gosh. All right.
I never bother whatever your name is. All right, Frog Riders.
Frog Riders is our next production with Eggerspiele,
Yep.
and it's their family weight game for this year, their Spiel des Jahres weight game. And in this game, and you have all these custom Frog Riders. You're not gonna be able to see this.
No, you're not.
No,
But
well-
you're gonna try anyway. Is that
We're
what
gonna
you're
try
doing?
anyway. But you have all these custom plastic Frog Riders in there, and you are essentially just trying to capture them. You capture them for points based on your secret objectives or public objectives or other point cards, or you can cash them in for their powers.
That's right.
There you go. Or the powers that they can grant you, like extra jumps. Some of them can do trades for other colors. So you're set collecting these things. So this is a game. This is a family weight game, tactical-based game, which is going to be very replayable due to the fact that the victory conditions will change each game. And that's Frog Riders, our co-publication with Eggerspiele.
Okay. Fields of Green, working with Artipia, which you have worked with before.
Many times before with our Artipia games. This is Vangelis, and I cannot even try to pronounce his last name. I bet you can.
Bagheera Takas.
Yeah, there you go, of course. So in Vangelis, who did is it Vangelis or Vangelis? I'm getting like heckled over there now. All right.
That's right. Vangelis is the ethereal music maker.
Eric Lang, who now has announced great things happening to him with Simon, and I will never get to do a game with him.
Currently just
I
heckling.
dislike you more than anything. I dislike you as much as Tom Vassell now. I'm just telling you, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. Go on, get out of here. He's one of my best friends. And he's making a rude gesture. I see you tomorrow for lunch, man. So, in Fields of Green, Vangelis, he has riffed on the Among the Stars card drafting system. So instead of building a space station in front of you, you're now building a field, a farming field. So it's like modern farming. The drafting changes because there are several different colors that you can then pre-select for the cards that are going to be drafted for the hand. So you have a little more control over the cards that are going to show up at any given time in the game. There's also an extra currency in the game. So now instead of being 2 currencies in Among the Stars, there's 3. And very cool bits, custom made water and there we go, and wheat
sorta.
pieces in the game made in wood. Very cool. Fields of Green, farming games, very hot.
Speaking of farming, this is
This
akin
is
to that is planting.
sort of planting a
Yes.
garden,
Yes.
a cottage garden. So this was a great pickup again out of Essen for us. An Uwe Rosenberg game, immediately putting this into our great designer series. By the way, most of the games I'm showing you aren't even with my logo on it yet, because these are the originals, and the other ones are on their
right.
way over. So in Cottage Garden, Uwe Rosenberg took his patchwork system that came out last year, I believe, right? Which was a 2-player only game, and now he's made it from 1 to 4 players. Changed a few parts of the system as well. Here you are planting in a garden, creating these beautiful cottage gardens, and there's also cats in the game, which is great. You can also put cats into your garden as well to take up some of the spaces. Once the entire garden is filled, you score that garden. And there'll be 5 trips to the market to get the Tetris-like pieces. Yeah,
That's right.
Feel free. You want to open this one up? Sure.
No.
I didn't even punch
I'm
all
just
of it.
saying there's Right, you have a market of tiles, and you're going to walk around, and you have to pick something from that row that you're in, or walk from the column.
This man's
do
good.
all
This
that.
man's good. I didn't even
Okay.
punch this game because this is just got it as a preview copy. Made sure we had it here at the show.
Right.
Picking them, creating your cottage gardens, scoring them at the end, and really.
Good for you.
Oh yes, and that's the cat that's in the game. All right.
Okay.
Cottage garden. And the last but not least, and this is a true departure for us. This is Ghost Catchers. That's what we're calling it. And in German, it's
Gespenster am Fenster.
Gespenster am Fenster.
There's a ghost in the window.
Which means ghost in the window, right?
Right.
Ghost in the window in German, but we didn't.
Spirit in the
It's
window.
nice and rhyming in German, but in English we changed it to Ghost Catchers. We're going to use Ghostbusters,
We
but
were
I heard.
brainstorming names for you on Twitter that would rhyme and you could use in English.
Yeah, but I didn't like any of them. I like Ghost Catchers. I want the Ghostbusters, but somebody else used that one recently. Okay.
I acknowledge your effort, but I reject it completely. Okay, good.
In Ghost Catchers, this is a children's game. So this is the first time that we and Eggertspiele are getting into actual children's games. On the box it says 4.5 and up.
That's right.
Which is a really cute little number. 4.5 and up. So you can play this game down with children that young. You could play it changing the rules just a bit because it's very simple to add complexity into this game. If you don't mind, I'm gonna pull this one out too because it's very. Oh, I left the board. Sorry, I left the board over there. You're going to be pattern matching on the board with transparent cards. So ghosts are going to show up in the window, and there'll be these transparent cards, and you're going to try to pick the one that has shown up. So
And you
some
can
of them
pick up the transparent card and overlay to see if it's an exact match.
Well, once you've picked it, and if you
Yes.
have, then you can see if it matches.
Yes.
Now, the beginning ones for the 4, 5, and 6-year-olds are very simple, and you only put a few of them out, so the patterns will be easy to match. Then it gets to medium difficulty. Then it gets to harder. And you can play this with an adult gaming group once you take those transparent cards and you just kind of drop them on the board and they overlap. And how do you figure out, oh my God, so this one showed up. Is it that one? It really becomes like a party game for adults as well. So it's a
Okay.
game that can grow with the family. You can play it with the littlest kids. You can play it with your older kids or as they get older. And you can play it with your gaming friends as well.
Okay.
Ghost Catchers.
All right.
That is everything, Eric.
That is everything.
Is that too much?
I'm
Probably.
just glad you didn't pull it out.
You're such a.
I forgot to hit the record button.
You
Ah! And that is it.
Bye, guys.
We are done.